Good afternoon. The lesson plan for today is called Let's Get Physical. I thought this plan was perfect considering for young adults as well as older adolescents, we all face the freshman 15, and in my case, the sophomore 15, the junior 15, as well as now the senior 15. I chose Let's Get Physical because I feel a lot of older adolescents as well as younger adults are suffering what some uh, professionals are calling a obesity epidemic. So my lesson plan is combating adolescent and young adult obesity through healthy nutrition and increased physical activity. My lesson plan will begin, of course, in discussing uh, the three objectives that I've selected for this class. Of course, initially I will present to my students all the alarming statistics surrounding their specific demographics. Um, in addition to the first objective, we will also identify and recognize the signs of being overweight and what are some of the attributing factors to your obesity. The third goal will be the benefits of adopting and maintaining a lifestyle that includes healthy eating and physical activity. The first lesson will start off, or part of my lesson, the beginning of my lesson will begin with statistical hard information as it pertains to older adults or young adults and older adolescents. It will discuss everything from high school students to the overall United States um, demographics in terms of older adolescents and young adults and those that are not physical. Also, we will talk specifically about Arkansans that suffer from obesity, as well as specifically in the city of Little Rock. One of the ways I will keep the students engaged and involved is by asking questions. So, as I stated in my objectives, how do I know I'm obese? Unfortunately, a lot of students are not aware if they're at a healthy weight or if they're overweight. And in some cases, some of our students and adolescents are morbidly obese. So here I will introduce one of two popular tests, and this one would be the BMI. I will hand out a very colorful BMI chart, and I will split the class into groups of 4, contingent upon how many students I have in my class. Uh, they will be handed this BMI chart. They will all be given scales. I plan to introduce digital scales to the students. I'll probably need anywhere from 6 to 10. Here, Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences will be used from a standpoint of the logical mathematical because they have to physically see the number of their weight. Also, the bodily, the kinestetics of how much their body weighs. This will be intra and interpersonal because one, they'll see their individual weight as well as seeing the weight of others. I think this will spark conversation and dialect between the students amongst their peers, in that if someone is morbidly obese, they can recognize that mentally. But also, there may be a student that is of a healthy weight. Hopefully, that student will be able to encourage them or educate them on in what ways is she or he able to maintain that healthy weight. The second and most common, of course, is the waist circumference. Here, I will also introduce those little, you can get them at the dollar store, the measuring tapes, and teach them how to measure each other's waist circumference. Again, I will hand out a very colorful chart that will talk about the variances between women and men and what women should have in terms of a healthy waist versus men, and also the health risk with the waist circumference, it is listed in three categories: low risk, moderate, and high risk. So with that being said, I will hand out probably again anywhere from 6 to 10 measuring tapes, allow the students to measure each other's waist. And again, Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences will be utilized: intrapersonal, as well as using the mathematical and bodily intelligences to be used. Once we've discussed the statistics, once we've discussed how do I know I'm obese, then we'll start to talk about how did I get here. Here there will be illustrations that demonstrate a couch potato, as well as a college student's eating habits. Here this chart talks about cheap foods high in sodium and sugar to easily accessible. The unfortunate thing in Euler in particular, you have a Popeye's chicken right across the street, a Burger King. All of these places that are convenient, very cheap food, but it is very high in cholesterol, sodium, fat content, and these are usually the foods that we as adolescents and younger adults are attracted to. And as well as talking about bad habits, the donuts, the snacks that consist of very high sodium, very high sugar content, french fries, milkshakes, sugary drinks. Those things will then be discussed in the part of this lesson, how did I get here? Now what? That is the next question. Now what is the question I would ask of the students. Education is fundamental. And here I will introduce them to the choosemyplate.gov. I feel that is an excellent way to start students to thinking about their eating habits, the bad versus the good. This is a great program that I've utilized myself personally, and I will discuss the benefits sought in eating or having a diet that is high in fruits and vegetables, grains, your protein. I will also discuss here in this part of my lesson plan why it is so important to put away the sugary drinks and replace it with water. Most often, people do not realize the amount of water they should consume. Some have stated that you should consume in ounces half of your body weight. So if you're 150 pounds, then you should definitely consume 75 ounces of water per day, as well as talk to them about being physically active, as opposed to taking the elevator, consider taking the stairs. Instead of jumping on the trolley to get to class in various buildings on campus, try walking to class. And more importantly, get involved in groups that are physically active. Join a step class, start a walking group, in fact. But whatever you do, you have to get off the couch and start moving. Next in my lesson plan, I have a myriad of benefits sought from exercising and eating healthy. And this all is so contingent upon making a mental paradigm shift. Here I will encourage them by way of having them read out loud all of the healthy eating benefits and exercising benefits. And I would encourage them to also mentally think about in what ways can they stop the playing of video games or sitting on a couch. Instead of sitting on the couch watching 4 shows, maybe reducing it to 1. And here again, we'll utilize Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences, because we'll talk about the linguistic by me encouraging them ways to make the mental paradigm shift, which will cause them to interpersonally as well as intrapersonally listen to other students discuss ways that they can benefit from eating healthy and exercising. Next, which is last but definitely not least, to introduce the musical portion of Howard Gardner's intelligence is, I plan to bring in a boombox and play some very up-tempo, fun, enthusiastic music. And since my minor is in exercise science, I would like to demonstrate to them the ways they may take a break from being in front of this computer all day doing homework, exercises they can do from the comforts of their home as well as their desk, and make this a fun way to end this Let's Get Physical plan. So there you have it. Thank you again, Professor, for all that you've taught me over the semesters, and I will look forward to talking to you soon.